Mr. Davis, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. And your client is Brandon Owens, correct?
Correct.
All right. He's also got a number of traffic tickets. Are you handling those as well?
No, I'm not handling the traffics. It's a felony.
Okay. Sure. And you indicated earlier that he's unable to talk at this time?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Owens, Brandon Devontae Owens, sir, you've got a number of traffic tickets we're going to deal with first. And these are all misdemeanors. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. I would normally ask if you understand those rights, but your attorney on your primary case has indicated you're unable to speak at this time. So give me 1 second, sir. We're going to go through these tickets and I've set you up with a new court date for all of them. Okay. First ticket is P580510 with a charge of driving while license not valid. And ticket 17283-865 1 and 2, charges of no operator's license on person and driving unregistered vehicle. Ticket 17368-938 1 and 2, no insurance misdemeanor and no operator's license on person. And ticket 184805861, driving while license not valid. These are all misdemeanor charges. Maximum penalty you face on each is up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. I want to set aside the arrest warrants, enter not guilty plea on your behalf, give you a personal bond on these. Your next court date will be a pretrial in front of Judge Perkins, November 7th, here in 36th District Court. And all right, as to the primary case, this is case 23-059295, State of Michigan versus Brandon Devontae Owens. Counsel is beginning with the prosecutor.
157 on behalf of the people.
And Mr. Davis.
Good morning, Your Honor. Maurice Davis, P76203, appearing with Brandon Owens, who's present appearing via Zoom. Away from a ring and plea of stand mute.
Thank you. Court will enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf as to bond, beginning with the people.
Now, this is a very serious matter. The defendant was arrived at 3:08 in the morning where a large crowd of people had gathered and were drag racing, as we observed. The police officer went to the defendant's vehicle to get out of the car. He attempted to open the driver's side door to help him get out of the car. He refused to get out of the car. The police officer then went and stood in front of the vehicle by the passenger, the driver's side headlight. He ordered him again to get out of the car. The defendant didn't get out of the car, and with that, the defendant lurched forward, striking the police officer in the legs with the Mustang vehicle that the defendant was driving. With that, the police officer fired a shot at the defendant in the vehicle. The vehicle then, I believe, lurched forward again, and the police officer fired a second shot. The defendant, the car then went forward, struck another car and then a tree. And the defendant, as you can see, had a bruise to his neck, gunshot wound to his neck, Your Honor. Your Honor, the defendant's got quite a history. Currently, right now, he is on probation, Your Honor, for police officers fleeing and eluding. He was charged with reckless driving and driving with a license suspended back on 10/25/22. He pled guilty to police officer fleeing and eluding, received 24 months probation, and he's on probation currently. That was back on 12/9/22 when probation started, Your Honor. In addition, he's had multiple arrests for other situations and crimes, subsequently that he was not convicted of. Your Honor, we're asking for a $50,000 cash surety bond. If the defendant is able to make bond, we're asking for a GPS tether, home arrest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, he is currently residing on Bond Street in Detroit. He lives there with his sister. He's been there since September. He's been a Detroit resident all of his life. He has a strong support system consisting, he has 3 brothers, 3 sisters. He has an aunt and uncle who have been in contact with numerous members of his family. He was working as well. He's working for EFD Masonry Restoration. You have to look at, Judge, whether or not my client is a flight risk. I know the prosecutor stated that he's on probation for a previous felony case, but he took responsibility for that case. He showed up to all of his court appearances. He was sentenced to probation. He has not had any violations, been on probation for a year. He's been compliant. He has retained counsel in this matter. And he's had pretty significant surgeries in his judge. And upon his discharge from the hospital, he has to be cared for. He has to follow up with specialists. He has to have family members who are going to take him back and forth to his doctor's appointment. So I'm asking for a personal bond, considering his he's not a flight risk at all. His vocal cords and his attitude was shattered in this situation, Judge. He's going to, as I stated, continue to have follow-up appointments with specialists. So if he's in custody, he's not going to be able to do that. I think a personal bond is appropriate given the situation. That's what I'm asking for.
Thank you.
If I may, a couple more points. He currently has a warrant issued for him for violation of probation in his current probation act, number 1. Number 2, I'm not so concerned about the flight, but I'm very concerned about the danger to the public and itself without driving a car. No driver's license. He not only assaults his police officer who's trying to do his job. I mean, if he's a strike police officer or attack a police officer or assault him, he's going to assault anyone. I understand he's in the hospital, but it's not fault.
Okay. So the allegations here are quite concerning. That there was allegedly drag racing going on in an illegal fashion, but then after the police arrived, the allegations as to Mr. Owens that he intentionally struck a police officer with his car are quite troubling. I don't see him as a flight risk, given that he's in the hospital. Counsel's indicated he's got several additional surgeries scheduled. And I'm sure that his current medical state prevents him from being a significant flight risk. It's the danger to the community element that is of greatest concern to me, that this gentleman already supposedly driving without a valid license, not obeying lawful commands of officers, and in fact, assaulting the officer with his vehicle are of some great concern. So this is what we'll do. While this case is pending, Mr. Owens, you are not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're to have no contact with the complaining witness, Officer Davis, in this matter. You're not to drive without a valid license, and should you post bond, you'll be on a GPS tether on house arrest. Court will set bond at $50,000, 10%. Mr. Davis, is that affordable or unaffordable for your client?
I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to his family.
Okay, so for the time being, we'll set it for a bond redetermination hearing on Wednesday, October 11th, in front of Chief Judge McConico. And the other dates here are October 17, probable cause conference, and October 24, preliminary exam. Both of those will be in front of Judge Jefferson here in 36th District Court. Anything else for this record?
Nothing else.
Okay. Thank you, Detective Sergeant Bloom, for assisting with the Zoom. And that wraps up Brandon Owens for today. Thank you.